Bonjour. Okay, so what we're talking about in this video today is our new table, this table chart thing that is up on the sideboard. So hopefully you've already noticed it, all right? And I'm going to explain this and how you guys can use this, all right? So basically this whole chart table thing here is a way for me to communicate with you and to let you know exactly where you should be with whatever it is that we're learning. Okay, all right. So the first thing to notice here is that um, obviously uh, up here at the top, we've got the different classes, right? French 2 honors, we've got French 2 and French 1, okay? And each class has its own column, right? Okay. So you just find your column, oui, voilà, depending on what class you're in, okay? And then down here in the lower left-hand corner, you should see that there's a word here, contenu. Contenu means content. Okay, so content, that is what we're learning right now, okay, right? So Français 2 d'honneur or Français 2, you'll see that I've written in chapitre 3, vocab numéro 1, tête, visage, right? Or if you're in French 1, we've got changer la perspective, il, elle, tu, je, oui? All right, so that's what we're working on. Now, next part that I'm going to explain is over here on the left-hand side, okay? So these are different categories, right? The first category we have is compréhension orale. Compréhension orale, that is listening comprehension, okay? And to try to help with that, I tried my very best, and it took a while to do this because I'm not a super artist, but I went ahead and drew some little drawings to kind of help you remember what that is or what that looks like. So for compréhension orale, listening comprehension, what I drew was a little speech bubble here with somebody saying un poisson, right? And then an ear for someone else hearing it. And then the picture of a fish. Oui. All right. So basically what that's telling you is that if you hear someone say un poisson, this should be the picture, the image that pops into your little brain, right? Okay. Okay, next we have compréhension de lecture. Lecture in French means reading. So this one is reading comprehension. All right, so in my little drawing to explain this one, you see we've got this little guy here. He's got a couple eyes with arrows, like he's reading the words un poisson. And after he reads those, we want this little picture of a fish to pop into his brain, right? Okay, that is compréhension de lecture. Oui? Okay. Next, we have production orale. Production orale, speaking, right? Okay. So my drawings here, we've got this little guy. He's looking at the picture of a fish. And then he can say in French, un poisson, right? Okay. And lastly, we have production écrite. So writing, yeah. And we start the same here. He's looking at a picture of a fish. And now he can write un poisson in French, okay? All right, so those 4 categories actually are in this order. I put them up here in this order because traditionally, if you're learning a new language through immersion, meaning like I just dropped all of us down in the middle of, I don't know, the Czech Republic, and we're learning Czech. We're living there, we're going to school there, we're, immersed in it all the time. This is the flow, right? We start by listening and understanding, then reading and understanding, then we start speaking a little bit, and then finally we start writing. Okay? All right, so we've got those 4 categories here, right? We've got our content down here. Now, if you notice each box, we've got some percentages, okay? So the important thing to know about these, The first percentage is where I want you to be when you walk in the door today, right? Okay, so 75%, 75% for listening comprehension with our tête visage vocab, right? Okay, so that means if I sat here and rattled off all 17 of those vocab words in French, that you would know 75% of them, right? Okay, so not all of them, right? 3/4 though, me, okay? All right, so the first percentage is always where I want you to be that day when you walk into class, right? The second percentage is where I want you to be when you walk in the door for the next class, okay? So that means after class today, after we've done practice in class today, and then after you've gone home and done some more practice with like devoir and things online, whatnot, like that, by next class, I hope when you walk in the door, you will be at this, you need to be at this next percentage, right? Okay, so basically by next class, right, for listening comprehension, if you're in French 2 honors, 95%, right? So that's pretty much almost all, I would say, probably 16 out of the 17 words. If you hear them, you know what they mean. And then for Français 2, you're at 90%, right? So I don't know, that's probably what, 15 or 16, I think, words, okay, d'accord, that you could hear them and you know what they mean, right? Okay, now, if you're not sure about where you fall with these, hey, there's a really easy way to go home and test yourself and find out. There's a GIM kit, right? There's a GIM kit where here I am just saying these vocab words. La tête, une oreille, la bouche, la langue, right? Okay, so go home, play a GIM kit again. Just do like 20 questions, right? And keep track on your own piece of paper of how many you get correct out of 20. And boom, there you go. If you get 16 out of the 20 correct, you've got an 80%. All right, so you're like right on where you need to be, okay? But maybe you need to do a little more work to build up to here, right? Okay. So that for listening comprehension, GIM kit's great for that, okay? For reading comprehension, how do I test myself on that? Well, one really easy way is to pull up Quizlet flashcards. You look at the French side and you're gonna read one of the words. For instance, maybe you're gonna read un oeil, right? So you see that and you think to yourself, un oeil, okay, do I know that? Oh yeah, that's an I. You flip the card, check yourself, woohoo! Keep track of how many you get correct, and that'll let you know where you're doing, or how you're doing, excuse me, with reading comprehension, okay? All right, next, moving on up to production orale, right? Okay, how are we doing with speaking, okay? So this one can be a little bit trickier, but hopefully if we're doing well with our listening comprehension, then we can do speaking fairly well, okay? So for this one, once again, Quizlet is a great way to test yourself, okay? Pull up those flashcards, but you're gonna go to the settings and you're gonna flip it. So now you are seeing the picture first. And so, I don't know, maybe I see a picture. That looks like that. Oui, yeah, okay, so that's supposed to be la bouche, oui, all right. Yeah, sorry, not the greatest, oui, voilà. So you would look at the picture and then say it out loud, la bouche. Then flip the card over, look at the spelling of it and see, hey, how'd I do? And Quizlet also has a little audio, like button, I guess you could say. It's a little, it looks like the little audio symbol like this, I think, oui. And you can click that and it will pronounce it for you in French, okay? Now, is it the best pronunciation in the world? Yeah, it's like a computer generated voice. So no, it's not the most like beautiful French in the world, but it will definitely give you a general idea, a good idea, right? Okay. And of how to pronounce the word, right? So you would do this, look at the picture, say it out loud, flip it, maybe check, see how you're doing with that, click that audio button, keep track of how many you get right, and then you're gonna get your percentage for speaking, okay? Oui? All right, last one, production écrite, writing, oui, okay. All right, so for writing, same kind of thing. If you want to check and see how you're doing, right? Oh mon Dieu. All right, trying to draw here on a computer as if my drawing wasn't bad enough as it is. Oui. So let's imagine you look at this Quizlet flashcard, oui, okay? And you want to look at the picture, oui, okay? So you're looking at the picture. This is supposed to be a nose, by the way, oui, all right? Then what you're going to do on your own sheet of paper, write it down in French. Le nez. And then you flip your flashcard over, check your spelling, check it carefully. We check your spelling. And then once again, keep track of how many you get correct. And that's going to give you your percent for writing. Okay. We. So I hope that this helps you guys. I hope that this chart, I'm going to keep it up and update it like, you know, every class, okay? So you will see these percents changing. They should probably be different, probably every time you come to class. They should be, at least one of them, I would think, would be a little different, okay? So, and I'm also going to try to make sure that these get posted on your assignments as well for, in Google Classroom. So that way, you know, you don't have to sit in class and memorize this. Of course, I don't expect you to do that. I can't, I'm not even going to do that. I'm not going to memorize them. But when you go home and you're doing practice on your own, you can look at an assignment and at the bottom of it, it will say, okay, here are your, you know, don't forget about your learning goals as we're, you know, as you're practicing or whatever. And I'll have them listed out by category here. And so you'll be able to, it'll have it right there, what you got to do. And so you know what you got to work towards. Okay. So I hope this is helpful. If you have any questions, please don't hesitate to ask. And oui, voilà, d'accord. Merci beaucoup.